Um, if you see a fancy name like this that ends in "side," like homicide or genocide, it means some kind of death. And so this is used in killing germs, fungi, and insects. So germicide, fungicide, and insecticide. It's also used in making plastics, and one of the plastics that it does make is a really effective glue. They use that in plywood. It's also used as a perfume. There is a certain amount of flavoring to it. In fact, some soda pops have aldehydes as their flavoring, particularly cherry flavoring seems to be a thing. All right, so let's get into the nomenclature. Now, like I said, the two systems are very similar, particularly in the common naming system. Of course it is in the IUPAC, because the IUPAC is all based on the same idea, and that is what is the longest continuous chain. So let's take a look at the first carbon, or the one carbon group, which will look like this. Which we can also write like this. This is there's only one carbon here, so that's a one carbon aldehyde by definition. And remember, in IUPAC, the longest continuous chain is the basis for the last part of the name. This is technically a methane. So now this is where people get confused, and that is that they end this. Okay, here, let's put down methane, but without the E. Oh, methane, butane too, methane, methane, but not put the E in. Now, in alcohols, we put OL because the word alcohol ended in OL and it made a lot of sense. Aldehyde does not end in like an L thing. It's something else. So they thought it'd be kind of cute if they took the AL in aldehyde and put it at the end here. So that's methanol. I can hear some of you giggling, and rightly so. You're going to love the four carbon one. People get confused by this. Okay? So the thing that I've always used to help you remember about this is that you see the last four letters in there spells a particular word. And where do you find that particular word? On your end. So the AL goes on the end. You see, yeah, I know. It's the best I got. So that's the IUPAC naming system for that. The common naming system for this, now the common name for the one carbon carboxylic acid is formic acid. So we start off with form. And at least they made this somewhat understandable. In common name, they end this with the word aldehyde, but it's all one word. So this is formaldehyde. And of course, this is what they use for embalming fluid. Okay? All right, number two. So we got H, C, and then we'll have a methyl group here. We can write this as HC. Sorry, let me try that again. It is CH3, CHO is how they write that. CH3CHO. So that is the two-carbon aldehyde, and you can tell by that, or by this drawing of the carbonyl group, that you are dealing with an aldehyde. So the IUPAC name for this, longest continuous chain is two carbons, ends with an aldehyde. So this is ethanol. And the common name for this, well, remember the common name for two-carbon acid was acetic acid. we drop the icy acid like we did with the formic acid, drop the icy acid, and put acid, and then end it with aldehyde. So that's acetaldehyde. Number 3, and I'll just do one more drawing and then I'll just name them from then on. So for this one, you got your carbonyl group, got your hydrogen, and you got CH2CH3. Or we could write this as CH3, just go backwards, CH3, CH2, and then CHO. CH3, CH2, CHO. Okay? So that's the kind of the Lewis dot structure for this, and this is the straight line form for it. And the IUPAC name for this, well, again, longest continuous chain is 3 carbons, so this is a propane. We drop the E and put propanol. Common name, this is from the propion form where we got prop as 3 carbons. So this is propion aldehyde. Okay, and I'll just go through and name the others. Number 4 is CH3, CH2, CH2, CHO is our straight line form. The IUPAC name for this, yes it is, the infamous butanal. Although many people say it differently. The common name, this is from butyric acid, so you drop the icy acid. So this is butyraldehyde. I'm sorry, not butyraldehyde. Butyraldehyde. Sorry. Number 5, CH3, CH2, 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 CHO. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So the IUPAC name for that, instead of butane, is butanol, or butanal. Sorry, pentanal. 5 carbons pentanal. And the common name for this comes from the valeric acid, so we drop the icy acid and put valoraldehyde. Number 6, CH3, CH2, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then CHO. And the IUPAC name comes from hexanoic acid. So, I mean, this is a hexane. I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. This is technically a hexane. So this becomes hexanal. And then the common name, this comes from caproic acid. So we drop the ic acid, so that becomes caproaldehyde. And the last one I want to look at is the aromatic version of this. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that this is the flavoring they use in Dr. Pepper or some forms of, cheap forms of Dr. Pepper. The IUPAC name for this, instead of benzoic acid, this is benzaldehyde. And that's all we're going to stick with. We're not going to give it the common name. So, now, if I were to ask you to name a compound like, let's say, if I were to ask you to name this compound right here, okay? Well, you know it's going to end, that's a 5-carbon aldehyde, so it's going to end with pentanal. And you don't have to number the carbon where the carbonyl group is. It's always understood as carbon number 1. So all our counting is going to go away from the aldehyde group. So this is carbon number 1, and again, I can't emphasize this enough. You cannot put any kind of group on here. It has to be just hydrogen. So this is carbon number 1, carbon number 2, carbon number 3. So this would be 3-chloro. So all one word, pentanal. Okay? All right. We have some practice problems for you to do. 5 of them. Name those 2 compounds. Draw these 3 compounds. Have fun.